All right, Shalom, it's your brother Yonathan. All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say Shalom to all the brothers, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Today we're going to talk about how prophecy allows us to have the ultimate preparation. What is preparation? When you look it up in the Adam Online, it says the act of preparing or making ready. Okay? A preliminary act or operation. But I want to lock in on that phrase, making ready. Because the scriptures talk about making yourself ready. Let's go to 2 Ezra 16, and we'll start at 38. Point is down there in 40. All right? 2 Ezra 16 and 38. It says, as when a woman with child in the 9th month begins to bring forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains can pass her. It can pass her womb, right? Those contractions. Which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Meaning they start hitting right after another. One after another. Right? It ain't no reversing it. It's not no slowing it down. There's nothing really to ease the pain. Okay? For the day of the Lord that's about to ensue on the earth. There's not going to be, what's the name of that stuff, the spinal tap stuff they give you, man, it's slipping my mind right now. Dang. Epidural. It's not going to be any epidural. You understand? Especially not for the unbelievers. For the unbelievers, it's not going to be any ease to the pain. Now, for the believers, we're still going to have that cloak of the Lord. The Lord's going to be looking out for those who truly fear Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay? Talks about, his servants eating and drinking during that day of affliction. All right? Being able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Okay? Because they took the time to be prepared in the spirit. Okay? Continue on verse 39, 2 Ezra 16, 39. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and the sorrow shall come upon it on every side. I mean, there's not going to be any escape from it. There's not going to be a carnal escape from the judgments, from the conditions that are going to come on the earth. You understand? Even the believers, we're going to be in the midst of it. We're still going to suffer a lot of the things that go on the earth, but we're going to have a defense against many things, because the power is going to be with us. Then shall it be known who are my chosen. Okay? In 2 Ezra, the 7th chapter, it said the righteous are going to suffer straight things, meaning a pathway of difficulty. Not straight as in like S-T-R-A-I-G-H-T. Straight as in S-T-R-A-I-T. A pathway of difficulty. Meaning they're going to go through, particular adversities. Okay, it says the righteous shall suffer straight things, but have hope for the wide. But, their end, is going to be deliverance, salvation, the kingdom of heaven, new bodies, all of that. But it talks about, the unbelievers, the wicked shall suffer straight things and have no hope for the wide. They don't even know what standing stiffly for the Lord or resisting this devil, what it could lead to. They have no idea. Okay? And even if they do, they haven't taken the time, this grace period, to prepare themselves in the spirit to resist, to deny their flesh. You understand? Verse 40, the point, it says, "O my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle." It's a spiritual battle we're about to undergo. "And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth." And a pilgrim is ready to leave everything that he has when it calls for it. At the drop of a hat. Bow. Oh, we got to leave it. All right. That's what it is, what it is. They're prepared in the spirit to do that. They've counted their cost. And there's many people who know they're Israelites who have not counted their cost. Okay, so we've been bestowed inside information. We know that we're under attack. Majority of our people, they don't even know that there's an enemy out there plotting on them day and night. All right, what's the definition of inside information? Well, when you look it up, you type in inside information. Google's your friend. It says inside information is non-public information about a company that could give an unfair advantage to those who possess it. And we have an unfair advantage. And it says it's not public. All right. To the believers, the Lord, what? He reveals the secret things. It's given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. All right. Amos 3:7. Surely the Lord God shall do nothing, but he revealed his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. We have that private information that these people do not have. Okay. Again, reading the definition for inside information. Inside information is a non-public information about a company that could get about we know what our enemy's agenda is. We know what the Lord's agenda is. So we see the whole board, and these people don't. That could give an unfair advantage to those who possess it. It can include information about the company's operations. Right? We know this devil's coming with the MOTB. We know he's gonna have false flags. We know he's trying to create a one world government. We know everything he's doing is to manufacture his own blessing, the one he feels that he lost out on in Genesis. All right, finances or affairs. So let's go to 2 Peter's 1:19, just to go into how do we receive this private information. Just bear with me while I pull it up. All right. 2 Peter's 1:19, it says, we have also a more sure word of prophecy. Prophecy allows us to know what's going to happen before it does. That's that inside information, part of it. All right. Whereunto ye do well that ye take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place. Okay. We're in the valley of the shadow of death. So even though we're in this place that's completely tailor-made to break us, to tear us down, to keep us in a lower state, to keep us separated from our power, we've been given the inside information to combat all these plots and ploys against us. Information that's not public to everybody, even though they can pick up the same book that we pick up. The eye salve and the gift of faith, these things weren't given to them. They're not equipped with it. You see? All right. 2 Peter 1:20. Knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation. All right. And I want to just speak on that real quick. I seen there's a comedian named Corey Holcomb. He went on Cam Newton's podcast recently, and I just seen a little short of him. And you know, he basically was saying that the Bible can mean whatever, you know, I pick it up. It's meant to read. It can mean whatever I think. No, there's one truth. You know, there's a lot of these people that have a platform in this society, and a lot of people look up to them, and they want to acknowledge them and stuff. But at the end of the day, the Bible's for the prophets. There's a lot of people that know they're Israelites, but still 2/3 niggas. You know what I mean? Some have a little more sense than others, but they're still niggas. Okay? They're still not about forwarding righteousness in the earth. They still put their flesh before the Lord's will. Before what the Lord has ordained us to walk in, the conduct that he's ordained us to walk in. You see? Just continuing on verse 21 here. It says, for the prophecy came not of old time by the will of man, but holy men, holy, Kodash, means to be separated, men separated according to the Lord's purpose. The Lord uses men to get his will done in the earth. That's how he moves. That's how he wants to do it. Okay? And that's something that a lot of people can't accept. They can't fathom that the Lord could be inside of a man. He created us to make things move. We're utensils for his bidding. So there's going to be some men on the earth who the Lord, the things that they're doing, the moves that they make, the things that they think and say, The Lord put those thoughts and those words in those men's mouth. You see? So really, it's not the men. That's just a fork or a spoon that the Lord is using to move the food around the plate. 2 Peter 1:21. For the prophecy came not in old time by the will of man, but a holy man of God spake as they were moved by the Holy Spirit. The Lord's controlling, maneuvering the minds and thoughts of the prophets, everybody, but especially when it comes to righteousness. The Lord is in the mouth, in the minds of the men that he chose to use to push this word out. They're his voice in the earth. Okay? And that's how people are going to get the information so that they can be equipped to deal with these attacks from the enemy. The enemy that most of our people don't even know that there is. They're under the impression that, oh, we're all just people, and no. There's a specific. We have a nemesis. We have an adversary. The scriptures say so. Okay, let's go to Psalms 83 and 2. I'll just start there. It says, "For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. The nations started. The chief nation being Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, have made a pact." Okay. When you look at the NATO and the EU, when all the nations have their meeting and they send out representatives, all the nations are represented, but the Israelites aren't represented. The so-called Black, Latino, and Native American people, as a people, they're not represented. They don't have a say-so in how policy goes forth on the world stage. They don't even have a say-so in how the resources in their own lands. I'm talking about the Northern Kingdom, because they have countries and pieces of land that they're on, but they don't run their countries, and they don't have any say so in how their resources are distributed. You understand? All right. So Psalms 83 and 2 again. "For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, a pact, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head." All right. They've positioned themselves as though we're above these people. "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones." Why? Because right now, we were separated. It was prophecy, Jeremiah 17:4, that we would be separated from our heritage because of our disobedience. We're under the curses. So it would be a time to where we wouldn't even know who we were. But now, more prophecy is playing out, right? We're coming back into the understanding of who we are. The dry bones are standing upon their feet. Okay? Verse 4, it says, "They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation." They want to keep you in that dead state, detached from your power, which is our only defense. "Let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." That is a big deal for them to keep us detached from our heritage. That's why, it's people that have been paid and commissioned to try to debunk the truth that we're bringing out, when it's clearly plain. To anybody the Lord is dealing with, this is like the easiest and plainest thing to see. This is the simplest thing that you've encountered in your life in regards to like being able to realize if it's true or not. Verse 5, it says, "For they have consulted together with one consent." They're all in cahoots together. "They are confederate against thee." They made a pact. They're in agreement to keep you at a lower state. They're in an agreement to be against you. All right? They understand this. But our people, they're under the impression that everybody's trying to be in this kumbaya spirit. Nobody's trying to be in that kumbaya spirit. That's the bullshit they told you, to keep you in the dark, to keep you, docile. These people aren't about no kumbaya. If anything, they do it a little bit with each other, and that's just to save face and to get things from each other. If the nations weren't so ensnared with the dollar, and they didn't benefit economically with America so much, it'd be wars happening all over the place right now. There's still wars happening all over the place. All right. And then it starts to, even in the scriptures, it starts to list off the nations who made this pact, the nations who are confederate against the children of Israel, the so-called Black, Latino, Native Americans. And this is why it was so important for the devil to change the names of the people. Because if the nations were still referred to by these biblical names unto this day, it'd be damn near undeniable. It's still undeniable, but it'd just be too blatant, man. When people pick up the scriptures and read it, and they could really pinpoint, oh, the Bible's talking about the Chinese people right here. Oh, it's talking about the Japanese. Oh, it's talking about the Arabs here. Oh, it's talking about the Hamites. Oh, it's talking about the white men. They had to go around, like it talks about in Micah 2, they had to go around changing the names of the people and all these various things. To keep us in the dark, they had to do that. To spin their lies, especially revolving around white supremacy, they had to do that. All right? But it's going to name off here in Psalms 83rd chapter the nations that are confederate against thee. And the chief nation that's leading that charge is the nation of Edom, the so-called white man. Psalms 83 and 6, the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites, all right, the Arabs, so-called, of Moab, the so-called Chinese, the Hagarenes and Hamite nations, Gabal and Ammon, the Japanese, and Amalek. Amalek is the so-called Jew today, the Jewish people, the small hats, okay? That's Amalek today, people masquerading as the chosen people. And the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot Salah. So it lists off it tells you that these people, they're not in the kumbaya moment with you, Jake. They're not trying to come together. They don't see you as people the way they spun it to you. They're in cahoots to keep you downtrodden, to separate you from your power. So this inside information that we got, man, it allows us to not be hoodwinked, bamboozled by the sleight of hand this devil and the nations try to push on us. Information is going to lead to us being hid and having safe haven during Jacob's trouble in the day of the Lord. Let's go to Zephaniah 2, and we'll just start at the top here. Gather yourselves together, yet gather together, O nation not desired. That nation not desired will be the nation of Israel. We're the nation that's looked down upon. We're the nation that people, act like it's a stench when we're around. Rightfully so. Our people are in a very degenerate state. But the Lord has us in that position, and we're also put in that light by the wicked. All right, verse 2. Before the decree bring forth, before the day passes the chaff, before the day of the Lord ensues, the chaff or the residue at the bottom of a fire. This place is going to be a day like it talks about in Micah as well. It's going to be, or is it Malachi? It's going to be a day that burns as an oven. Actually, let's just go get that real quick. The day of the Lord is going to be a very hot day. It's Malachi 4:1. It says, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble." More residue at the bottom of a fire. "And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall leave them neither root nor branch." All right, boom. Now back to Zephaniah 2 and 3. It says, "Seek ye the Lord, all ye meek which have wrought his judgment." The nation of Israel wrought the Lord's judgment. "Seek righteousness, seek meekness, it may be you shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger." And that's what we desire to have, to be hid in the day of the Lord's anger and receive salvation. That's the goal. All right? That's the importance of having this inside information. Okay? We know who our attackers are, who our enemy is. very important. We know the methods in which they're going to try to use to attack us. We know the motivations behind them attacking us. It gives us a tactical advantage to a lot of the shit he's going to push. A lot of the darts that he's going to throw. We can anticipate his next move because it's written down. We have countermeasures to it. This is where true safety and security comes from. This knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. The scriptures say knowledge and wisdom should be the stability of that time. There's no counter solution to it. So this allows us to mobilize in an upright fashion and be blameless at the same time. Ain't that something? So, just a quick lesson. I might do a little more on this. I might do a part 2 to it. But for now, that's what the Spirit put on me to say. And Avaratazah, it was edifying. I want to give all praises once more to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Ruach HaKodesh. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say shalom to all the brothers, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth and sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.